Good afternoon all. Check this out. That's the completely mental bass response on this triangular Bluetooth speaker. Now it is a Bluetooth speaker, but I'm not using it in Bluetooth mode at the moment. I've got a cable here, cable supplied with it, plugged directly into my PC, into the aux socket of the speaker, and I'm playing YouTube copyright-free music. And it's that incredible bass response that you first notice when you start using this speaker, and it comes from these side membranes. There's a kind of rubber membrane here with part of this aluminium outer casing sort of glued onto it, so it floats around like this. But what I can't decide is whether or not this is actually a speaker or just literally a passive membrane. Because it tips in all directions, I can't believe it's a speaker, but there's only one way to find out, and that's to open this thing up. The problem is, carrying on the triangular theme, they've used triangular screws. Now, of course, I've got the obligatory security screwdriver bit set, and in there is this, which is a tri-wing, but it's not triangular, and I don't think that's going to open this thing up. So I think I'm going to have to modify this hex key, file down 3 of the corners on it, and try and make my own triangular screw tool. Well, it's not pretty, but it does seem to be sort of working. So let's see if I can get one of these side panels off and check out whether this is a speaker or just a passive membrane. Not a very good tool. So yes, this is just a passive membrane. You can see that this is just a piece of rubber with this metal glued onto it, and on the other side just nothing really. And then inside the end of the speaker you've got a fairly beefy looking speaker mounted there. Down inside, let's just get my torch, there's a separator wall to separate the two halves of the stereo system, and there's some sort of blue wrapped cylindrical thing there, which I imagine is the battery. So I'm going to try and get this front panel off next. And the front grille pulls off quite easily. It's just a push fit. And now there's you can see the 2 speakers here, and there's a panel here with 3 screws in it, so let's take those screws out. And there's a circuit board. If I switch that on, these LEDs light and flash, and it's telling you that it's in Bluetooth scanning mode. There's actually a microphone there, because I think this can be used with a mobile phone as an external sort of speakerphone type thing. Now there's screws all along here, and I think if I undo all of them, this entire plastic assembly will come out, so I'm going to do that next. And it's out, and we have a panel with 2 fairly beefy looking speakers, a battery pack which looks like it's probably 2 18650s side by side, and then here there's a circuit board which is quite interesting. I'll get in a bit closer. So on here you can see that the enamelled copper wire from the speakers is fed directly into these connectors, and there are 2 chips right next to the speaker connections with this YASD logo. Now I saw that on the other side of this board. I'm assuming these are power amps. I can't find any reference to this YASD, what is it, YX1808, but they must be power amps. No heat sinking there, so class D perhaps. There's some power supply components here, inductor, capacitor, big diode there. So this chip here, again, I can't find any information on this chip. I suspect is part of this circuit. Now along this bottom edge, the board's flipped round, so this would be at the top edge of the speaker. We have the USB charging port. This is the aux in, 3 buttons for volume up and down, and a phone answering sort of button, and here's the on-off switch. This is clearly the Bluetooth wireless transceiver with the printed antenna there. Now this PT2308 is actually a stereo headphone amplifier. which is slightly odd because there's no headphone socket on this, but I suspect they're using this as some sort of level converter, either between Bluetooth and this signal processor chip, or possibly between this chip and the output amplifiers. Now this is the main signal processor chip, Nuvoton. Now these are described as max audio algorithms on a chip, and the item we have is the NPCA 110P. And this is described as their most powerful DSP, digital signal processor, running the full set of max audio, including the legendary max bass, well yes, that kind of figures, and max volume, whatever those things might be. And there's just one other item on here, which is this. It's probably a microcontroller. It's got no identifiable markings on it, so that's just my guess that it's a microcontroller. So before I put the front grille back on, let's just have another quick blast of this speaker, where we can see the speaker and this passive membrane on the side. So there we are, that's the Apollo SK-A1 Bluetooth speaker. Now I'm not sure that the frequency response of this is going to be entirely flat. There's probably a fairly big surge at the low end, but probably ideal if you like bass. Cheerio!